What's with people in Hatchetfield not wanting to be single? Like Becky Barnes was like, oh, Tom's out to war. I can either be single or choose, the devil. Because I'll just chill it with the devil. Instead of, I get, obviously, relationships like that don't immediately show the red flags. But, I mean, marriage, you're gonna be... if you haven't seen Miss Halloween, yeah, it's that episode where Dick's like, hey, I'm 40, the oldest she can be in Hatchfield, apparently. I can't wait around forever. Guess I'll just hop face first into marriage. No, so how's that gonna work in the episode? Because obviously they're gonna get together. We're gonna... they're like, yep, guess they're never gonna... No, so, like I was saying, so Abigail, I think that's the girl. She was called Miss May, which sucks. Imagine being called Miss May by Miss Holloway. I'd cry. I'd be like, that's it. Imagine thinking you're gonna marry Duke and be like, yes, it's gonna work. And then, you're on your wedding. That takes a lot of planning. Yeah, there you're about to say I do. Miss Holloway storms in. She's like, come on, let's leave. And then suddenly you're not getting married. What? Lad, I'd be a little upset. I've planned this. But why? There are 2 episodes of Nightmare Time that I genuinely, it makes me mad thinking about it. And it's not it's not written bad, but the way the characters act in them, I'm like, what in the hell is going on? So context, you're gonna need context for Killer Track and Yellow Jacket. I'm pretty sure people know, especially Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket was awesome, but I'll get to that later. In Killer Track, there's a point where, they mention that the noise is coming from their vocal cords, and you're like, oh. And I thought everyone was gonna realise, because there's 3 people. Miss Holloway, who's tweaking out, Duke, and I forgot what the other person's name was, this teenager. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll put it in text, but... So, the 3 of them were there. And then they're like, oh, it's coming from our vocal cords. And I thought they were going to be like, alright, how about we get out so the noise is as reduced as possible? At least get the teenager out. Why is she here to begin with? Why she has to witness this? She was cured, alright? Show off. That sounds mean. I genuinely like the character. But, what Duke does... Or Doug, I can't remember his real name. It's Duke to me. Whatever, I don't care. So, instead of him getting back or doing anything, he stands there and Miss Holloway grabs a chair. And instead of moving or doing anything productive, he's like, no, baby girl, that sounds like you. And I was sitting, I'm like, maybe get out the... Because you're making it worse. It's coming from your vocal cords. Leave. Not start booking it. At least watch from a safe distance. But instead he just stands there. And I'm like, I hope Miss Holloway beats the shit out of you. That would be a plot. That would be some kind of plot twist. But no, she suddenly, she's like, and she throws it at the jukebox, which annoys me. I'm like, damn. And then, she passes out. Oh, I just remembered the note. So, And Miss Holloway's like, okay, so if anything happens to me, read the note. Now, I'm questioning why she doesn't just sit inside, but like, she's supernatural. He knows that. So she's like, hey, if I'm dead, just kind of let me settle there. Just let me settle. Instead of reading it after, you know, because he's always gonna call the cops. Or not the cops, the ambulance. And I'm like, no, so what does it? And then she like comes back and she's like, oh, guess I have to go under a new identity. Like, no one's ever came back from the dead before. And first of all, you're Miss Holloway. Who cares? Like, they're gonna be like, wasn't she dead a minute ago? Who cares? It's Miss Holloway. Like, is that part of it? Does every time she dies, she has to go under a new identity? But let me talk about what happens in Yellow Jacket. So, Hannah she's getting money for this ring, child fighting ring, and that's not the part that irritates me. What irritates me is when Webby's like, hey, don't do this, this is not it, Chief. And I'm pretty sure she has the money at this point. So I don't know why she continued. Like, obviously, she wants money to support the fam. Get that, 100% get that. But they're already in a hotel and got a whole bunch of money at this point. And so they're like, alright, we can... Or like, what? I can't remember fully, but Webby's like, hey, don't continue this. Only bad things will happen. And Hannah's like, nah, I got this. And then, obviously, the whole shebang happens. And then Lex has the move and take Hannah. And I'm like, first of all, I get what Lex's thing is. Like, it's not your problem. It's mine. You know, I'm cutting myself with the edge that's happening. But that also... yeah, like, I was so pissed at that moment. Not fully angry, but I was, like, so irritated at that moment. I was like, oh... Because I knew what was going to happen. That it obviously wasn't going to turn out right. That when Lex got, like, hit by all these, like, plushy pokies. And I literally said in my mind, I'm like, you better not fucking die from that. In Black Friday, why didn't they just throw the nook at Wiggly? Why did they have to, like, warn him first? Why were they like, hey, how about we give this eldritch god that would tear us to shreds, not even given a chance, just on a Saturday. And probably do heinous things, you know, just cause it's a Wednesday. How about we just give him like, a chance? First of all, you've warned him so he knows how to have a game plan. And it annoys me because I'm like, maybe if you drop the nuke, right, first of all, I don't know if that would kill him to begin with. The way he just swerves and then makes World War III happen. Just because obviously he's Eldritch God, you think he's just going to stand there and be like, there's a giant nuke hitting me in the face. Guess I'll just die. But like, what was their plan? You know, the president comes in and is like, Wiggly, nah, don't do this. And Wiggly's gonna be like, you're right, okay, I won't. Guess I'll chill. Guess I won't be who I am for like 1 minute. Like, what was their game plan? What, the Prezi was? First of all, no respect on by anyone while he's freaking eating an apple that's a sign of disrespect. When you don't even stop eating an apple to talk to me, and so they think he couldn't convince a child to get to their room. You think he's gonna stop an Eldritch God from Eldritch Godding? So, and they immediately call him Preziwiz. in that moment when an eldritch god gives me a nickname, I know I'm not respected. First of all, I wouldn't be in that situation. Why did they even give him a, spacesuit? I know it's they won't even give him, anything to protect himself with. He was gonna die by sniggles. If you're ever in a situation where you're gonna die from a sniggle, I'd kill myself first. I'm not having that on my tombstone. So obviously, Wiggly's not gonna bloody take the Prezzies' advice. And also, they don't have a second suit. First of all, why did they even send in the president? He didn't help at all. And neither, they sing one song and the president's sure, I'm gonna have a sit down with the devil. Why not get someone who actually knows what they're doing? That's such a situation, and I never thought that would work. Also, does no one talk about how, first of all, I can't remember this properly, but how did Becky Barnes and Tom get into the movie theatre? Wasn't the complex team yeah, you gotta pay even though everything's on fire and I just saw a guy die 2 seconds ago? Because he does live. He is seen at the end in some versions. He's seen at the end in, I think, the play versions, but in the YouTube version it's Ted. Which cool Easter egg, I guess. So he wasn't dead at the time, did he? Just boom. He saw Ethan getting killed, and he's like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Now he's on break, he's like, it's break time. Boop, boop, boop. I can't remember. So, but also, unless they just pulled out a 20 and they're like, alright, we'll buy 2 movie tickets to see the worst movie ever. And then it's just this weird scene where they're talking about their past, they sing the whole Take Me Back. Or maybe this happens before they sing the song. You know, watching this goofy ass movie. And the scene where she talks about her ex and she's like, yeah, I shot him deep in the woods and then buried him because he was getting between us, which out of context sounds terrifying. And Tom's just like, yeah, that's cool, Becky. Oh, cool else. Does not care. That. Terrifying. I'm just chilling there in the theatre and then my friend's like, hey, I slaughtered a man in the woods. He's dead now. Justified. Becky's justified. But that's also creepy. And then they bone. Then they sing the song in bone. Which, weird. Weird when you think, especially in a public place. No, it's the apocalypse. Get a fucking room. Get another room, not a public room. With the Cineplex teen hair down.